Hello, today we're going to be learning about finding the volume. Our target is I can find the volume of prisms, cylinders, pyramids, and cones. Before we get started, we're going to review how to find the area of 2D figures. So for a parallelogram, which can be a rectangle, square, or a rhombus, you just take the length times width, okay? Or you might look at it as base times height. For a circle, to find the area, it's pi times r squared. And for a triangle, to find the area, it's 1/2 base times the height. Because if we're finding the area for a parallelogram, it's base times height or length times width. And a triangle is half of a parallelogram. So you're going to take half of the base times the height. So what is volume? Volume is the number of cubes a three-dimensional figure can hold. So if we had this fish tank, it would be how many cubes could we put inside of the fish tank? So any three-dimensional figure can be filled completely with congruent cubes and parts of cubes. So that is what volume is how many cubes could you put in that figure. Okay, now we're going to look at finding the volume of our 3D shapes here. So first of all, before we get started, whenever you see this uppercase B, that means the area of the base. So before calculating the volume, many times you're going to have to calculate the area of the base first and then go from there. Okay, so the first ones we're going to look at are prisms and cubes and cylinders. So they both have the same formula in finding the volume, which is you take the area of the base times the height. Okay, and then for pyramids and cones, they both have the same formula where you take 1/3 the area of the base. So notice that's an uppercase B, so that's the area of the base times the height. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and find the volume of these three-dimensional figures. So number 1, we have a prism. Number 2, we have a cylinder. Number 3, we have a pyramid. Number 4, we have a cone. So what I'm going to do is I made a copy of the slide previously. So we're going to pull this over, and this is going to be our little cheat sheet that we're going to use. Okay, so the first one we're finding is the volume of this rectangular prism. Okay, so down here for a rectangular prism, we take the area of the base times the height. Okay, so, and the base is a parallelogram, so we know to find the area of a parallelogram, it's length times width. So really all you have to do with a rectangular prism is you just take the length times the width times the height, because the area of the base is the length times the width. So then you just say length times width times height. So we'll bring our calculator up here. So we're going to say 5 times 4 times 9. So 5 times 4 times 9 equals 180. Okay, so we're going to put in 180, and then we need to make sure that we include our units. So the unit is in inches, and then when you're ever talking about volume, it's inches cubed, because remember for volume, it's how many cubes can we fit in this figure. Okay, so you'd write 180 inches cubed, or cubed inches. Okay, the next one we're going to go to number 2, so we'll just move our cheat sheet over this way. So for number 2, we're finding the the volume of a cylinder. Okay, so come over here, and that's the same formula as a rectangular prism, the area of the base times the height. So first we need to find the area of this base, this circle. Okay, so we have a radius of 10. If we come over here to find the area of a circle, it's pi r squared. So we take 10 is the radius, we need to square it. Okay, so squaring it means we multiply it by itself. So 10 times 10 is 100. Then we come back over here, we found the radius squared, we need to multiply it by pi. So times 100 times 3.14 equals 314. So whenever you're multiplying by 100, all you have to do is move your decimal point over 2 places. So the area of this is 314. That's not where we stop though, because we're doing come down here, area of the base and then we have to multiply it by this height of 11 centimeters. So we're going to take 314 times 11 centimeters, and it's 3,454. So 3,454. Then our unit is centimeters, and because we're doing volume, we are going to cube it. So centimeters cubed. Okay, so 3,454 centimeters cubed. Okay, now on number 3, we need to find the volume of this square pyramid. So remember, we're calling it a square pyramid because the base is a square. It's named by the base. So if we come over here to our cheat sheet, find pyramid, and for pyramid and cones, it's 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. So step 1, first we have to figure out what the area of this base is. So that's a parallelogram. So parallelogram, you just say length times width to find the area of that base. So we can do that right in our head. So 11 times 7 would be 77. Okay, so that's the area of the base. Now we need to multiply it by the height. So 77 times, then the height is 13 yards, which is 1,001. But make sure you don't stop there, because now we need to take 1/3 of it. So we're going to divide it by 3. And we have 333 point, and then it's going on with sixes, so we can just round it to 67. So 333.67. And our unit is yards cubed. Okay. Then we'll move this over here. So our last one, we're going to be finding the volume of a cone. So come over here to our cheat sheet, and it's 1/3 the area of the base times the height. Okay, so this is kind of easy because both of these have basically the same formula. Both of these have the same formula. So you're really only having to remember 2 different formulas here. So first what we're going to do is we're going to find the area of the base. So to find the area of a circle, right here, it's pi r squared. So we're going to take the radius and square it. So we're going to take 4 times itself. 4 times 4 is 16. Then we're going to multiply that by pi, 3.14. So 16 times 3.14 is 50.24. So that's the area of the base. Now, come over here, we need to multiply it by the height. So we need to say times 12. So it's 602.88, but we don't stop there because now we need to take 1/3 of that. So we're going to divide it by 3, and we have 200.96. So 200.96, and then our unit is feet cubed. Okay. Okay, now it's time to show what you've learned today. So you have 4 questions. You're going to find the volume of the 3-dimensional figures. I should say figures, not figure. So we have a prism, a cylinder, a pyramid, and a cone. So basically, if you just remember those 2 formulas, so for the prism and cylinder, it's area of the base times the height. For pyramid and cone, it's 1/3 the area of the base times the height. So they're all pretty close. Area of the base times the height for these 2, 1/3 area of the base times the height. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson on volume. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.